I'm Troy Kirby with My Edmonds News, with a quick look at the 2021 Washington State Legislative Session. The House Healthcare and Wellness Committee heard public testimony on Engrossed Second Substitute Senate Bill 5304, which would provide reentry services to persons released from state and local institutions. The bill passed the Senate 48-0 on March 5th and would have to pass the House in order to make its way to the governor's office to be signed into law.
We know that 97% of individuals who are incarcerated are going to be released. And so the goal for me and for everyone, I think, is always successful reentry back into the community that individual is returning to.
I think the county of origin thing stands out, to me the most, because a lot of our participants are affected by having to go return to their same county of origin where, they have all of these bad influences that can, hinder their success. And ultimately, that's what's important to us is these people's success. So, just throwing that hurdle on the county of origin when, like Chris mentioned, they do have resources elsewhere. I think that could ensure the success of these people and can definitely help support that.
There was recent study about people released from prison in Washington State that found that the risk of death in the 2 weeks after release was 12 times higher than that of the general population, largely because of the risk of overdoses. By working to ensure that justice-involved populations have a stable network of healthcare services and supports when they're discharged from prison, we believe this legislation will result in a reduction in emergency department use, hospitalizations, and other medical expenses associated with relapse and recidivism.
We absolutely want to do our best to ensure the safety and well-being and successful reentry of those folks who find themselves in our jails. We believe that people who qualify for federal benefits should not have those benefits terminated as long as we have some control over that process. And we have advocated on that point since at least 2009.
We strongly support this bill. As a state employee, I do need to note that I don't believe it's in the governor's budget. However, the Statewide Reentry Council nonetheless urges this committee to move forward with this bill. I believe an executive session is already scheduled, and this is something that is just such a, I think, simple way to pretty dramatically improve the reentry process.
We are neutral on the main intention of the bill and the underlying content. We do, however, have a request for an amendment. The performance measures coordinating committee that the bill tasks with coming up with the measures that would potentially eventually be included in the MCO contracts and in value-based purchasing requirements center on an area, the intersection of the criminal justice system and behavioral health, where we don't believe that the current composition of that committee has a lot of institutional experience. So all we're asking for in our amendment is for the PMCC to develop a work group of stakeholders.
Thank you for watching the Daily Legislative Report by My Edmonds News, covering the 2021 legislative session.